gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah, and He appoints to everyone his portion, and what measure seemeth good to himself. Hath He endowed thee with wisdom? Hath He enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicating to the ignorant for their instruction. Communicating to the wise for thine own improvement. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often and changeth his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubteth not. He knoweth all things for his own ignorance. The pride of emptiness is an abomination, and to talk much is the foolishness of folly. Nevertheless, it is the part of wisdom to hear with patience their impertinence, and to pity their absurdity. Yet be not puffed up in thine own conceit, neither boast of superior understanding. The clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. The wise man filleth his imperfections and is humble. He laboreth in vain for his own approbation, but the fool steepeth in a shallow stream of his own mind, and is pleased with the pebbles which he seeth at the bottom. He bringeth them up and showeth them as pearls, and with the applause of his brethren delighteth himself. He boasteth of attainment in things that are of no worth, but where it is a shame to be ignorant, there he hath no understanding. Even in the path of wisdom he toileth after folly, and shame and disappointment are the reward of his labor. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. The improvements of the arts are his delight, and their utility to the public crown it with honor. Nevertheless, the attainment of virtue he accounted as the highest learning, and the science of happiness is the study of Islam. Islam is Islam. I'd like to ask the Moors to turn to the Quran questions for Moorish Americans. Islam?
Islam.
The school, the university, the chamber of the Moorish American mind. Islam?
Islam.
And the mind of the first man. You know these lessons right here, like that chapter Unity, that comes from the Buddhists say it comes from Adnan, Islam.
Islam.
These are old lessons, and he had to get it from somewhere. Islam.
Islam.
So chamber. Islam.
Islam.
Quran questions for Moorish children. 1. Who made you?
Allah.
2. Who is Allah?
Allah, the Father of the universe.
3. Can we see him?
No.
4. Where is the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
5. Who is Abu Ali?
He is Allah's prophet.
6. What is a prophet?
The prophet is the thought of Allah manifested in flesh.
7. What is the duty of a prophet?
To save nations from the wrath of Allah.
8. Who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
Noble Ali.
9. What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
10. Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
11. Where was Noble Ali born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
12. What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
13. What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
14. Why are we Moorish Americans?
Because we are descendants of Moroccans born in America.
15. For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
For the uplifting of all humanity.
16. How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans?
By teaching them to see themselves.
17. What is our religion?
Islamism.
18. Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
19. What kind of a flag is the Moorish?
It is a red flag with a 5-pointed unit on the center.
20. What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
21. How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
22. Which is our holy day?
Friday.
23. Why?
Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and it was on Friday when he departed out of flesh.
24. Who is Jesus?
He was the prophet of Allah.
25. Where was he born?
In Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David.
26. Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
27. Will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers through which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz, Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression of the Palestinian nations of Europe, who were governing a portion of Palestine at that time.
Why did Allah send Drew Ali to this earth?
To save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression of the Palestinian nations of Europe, who were governing a portion of Palestine at that time.
Why did Allah send Prophet Drew Ali to this earth?
To save more Americans from the iron hand oppression of the Palestinian nations of Europe, who were governing a portion of America.
Okay, let's get this right. 28. So which one is it? Is it Moorish, Americans, or is it Moabites? The fifth one say Israelites, but we ain't got the Moabites yet, so it's Moorish, Americans. Alright. So, why did Allah send Prophet Drew Ali to this earth?
To save the Moorish Americans from the iron hand oppression of the Palestinian nations of Europe, who were governing a portion of America at that time.
Alright.
Good time.
29. How long has that been?
About 2,000 years ago.
Which one?
He almost said 90.
Come on, Carter, you didn't say that.
Almost said 90.
Islam. You're talking about the first one, Islam. We're going back to usual. 29. How long has that been?
About 2,000 years ago.
30. What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabite.
31. What is the modern name for the Moabites?
Moroccan.
32. Where is the Moroccan Empire?
Northwest of Mexico.
33. What is the modern name for a Mexican?
Africa.
34. What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
35. Where did we get the name Jesus?
From the east.
36. What does the name Jesus mean?
Jesus means justice.
37. Did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name?
Yes, but they cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin.
38. What is an angel?
An angel is God of Allah manifested in human flesh.
39. What are angels used for?
To carry messages to the four corners of the world to all nations.
39. What are angels used for?
To carry messages to the four corners of the world to all nations.
37. Did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name?
Yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin.
What is it? 38. What is an angel?
An angel is God of Allah manifested in human flesh.
39. What are angels used for?
To carry messages to the four corners of the world to all nations.
So, what angel or what message, because angels carry messages. Angels are thoughts of Allah. So, which thought of Allah came to Jesus? Which angel? Which thought? Anybody fast? Anybody quick? 37. Did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name? What angel?
Jabril.
It's a lot of angels.
Angel Jabril.
Oh, okay.
Mikael.
He say Mikael, he say Jabril. What's the difference?
Jabril is Islam.
Islam.
Jabril is the angel of revelation. Comes to everyone. That's the same demonstration that came to the Prophet Muhammad, Mary, everybody. That's their job.
Islam. Islam. Who's Michael?
Michael is the head of all the angels.
All right. Islam. 40. What is our prophet to us?
He is an angel of Allah who is sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah.
41. What is the everlasting gospel?
It is the saving power that comes from Allah, who has ancient fathers by his prophet.
42. What is the covenant of the great God Allah?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah has given thee.
teach?
At the age of 12.
44. Where did he teach?
India, Africa, and Europe.
Excuse me, I gotta get this off. Are angels men?
Islam.
Just so we can clarify that. I know that the angels that came to talk to Abraham was men in the Bible, in Genesis. Islam?
Islam, the same one that came to talk to Prophet Muhammad, was in the form of a man.
Islam. All right, thank you. 44. Where did he teach?
India, Africa, and Europe.
45. How long did he teach?
18 years.
46. What did Jesus say that will make you free?
Truth.
47. What is truth?
Truth is God.
48. What is art?
Art is God.
49. Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
50. What other name do we give the truth?
Holy breath.
51. What have you to say about the Holy Breath?
All we can say is, it is great, it is good, it was, it is, and ever more to be. Amen.
52. At what place on earth was the physical part of man formed?
In the Garden of Eden.
Who's Eden? Quick, somebody. Who is that?
Who is our?
Who is that? Garden of Eden is named after somebody. All right, let's keep going then. 53. Where is the Garden of Eden?
In the land of Canaan, in the city of Mecca.
53. Where is the Garden of Eden?
In the land of Canaan, in the city of Mecca.
54. What is the modern name for the Garden of Eden?
Mecca.
55. What is the name of the first physical man?
His name cannot be used only by the name of the deity of the MSTA.
You mean his name is not Adam?
No.
56. What are the words of AC of the MSTA?
Adam Chamber in Morris Temple of America, third heaven.
57. Who were Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims.
58. Where did they go?
They went to Asia.
59. What is the modern name given to their children?
Asiatics.
60. Who is guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep the unbelievers away?
Angels.
61. What is the modern name for those angels?
Asiatics.
62. What is the shade of their skin?
Olive.
63. Are the Moorish Americans in relation to those angels?
Yes, we all have the same father and mother.
64. Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast.
59. What is the modern name given to their children? 59. What is the modern name given to their children?
Asiatics.
Children, right? 64. Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast.
65. What is the devil sometimes called?
The lower self.
66. How many cells are there?
2.
67. Name them.
Higher self and lower self.
68. What people represent the higher self?
The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca.
69. What people represent the lower self?
Those who are cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teaching.
70. What is the higher self?
The higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right.
71. Can the higher self pass away?
No.
72. Why?
Because it's a body man.
73. What does the lower self breed?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms.
74. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him?
Where are you going, Satan?
75. What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self?
I am going to and fro the earth, seeking one who may devour.
76. Has he finished his task of devouring?
Yes.
77. When was his time declared out?
When he nailed Jesus on the cross.
78. What are the last words Jesus uttered?
It is finished.
79. What did Jesus have reference to?
He had reference to the end of Satan.
80. Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him?
Yes.
81. What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated?
Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror.
81. What is the name of the person into whom Prophet Ali was first reincarnated?
You trying to start something. I almost gave you an answer.
Was slaves to be bound there? 83. When was the head of Satan? 84. By whom?
Mama.
85. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. 86. Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contains black water. 87. What is meant by the word black?
Black according to science means death.
88. What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that has been changed, tarnished, or dyed.
89. What does Ethiopia mean?
Ethiopia means something divided.
90. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian?
No.
91. Why?
Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah.
92. What title does Satan give himself?
God.
93. Will you define the word white?
White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land.
94. To whom do we refer to at times as being the great God?
Allah.
95. Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah?
No, he is the shadow of our Lord self and will pass away.
96. Who made the devil?
Elohim.
97. Who is Elohim?
Elohim is the seven created spirits that created everything that ever was, is, and evermore to be.
98. What is Elohim sometimes called?
The seven eyes of Allah.
99. How many days are in the circle?
7 days.
100. How many days are in a creation?
7 days.
101. According to science, how many days are in a year?
7 days.
Quran questions and additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand chiefs and governors and head of all temples, all businesses, each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali before acting upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAT meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go in your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Upliftment Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to finance to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 sisters who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Islamism.
Islam.
Praise Allah. And at this time, I'm going to call up the Grand Chief Brother Victor Taylor. Islam.
Islam.
First person is John Gibbons in. I just have to say it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No, well, that's because it literally all came out when he said it. Like, wait a minute.
Right, that's so.
Who's the next person?
I'm the next back.
No. Dingo Hill, bro. One of them called himself the reincarnated prophet, the other one called himself the reinstituted. They funny. Praise the Lord. Oh, no. The next one is David Ford. What they call him? Farrar Muhammad? Yeah, he was the next one. In 1930, he showed up in Detroit, in Paradise Valley, and Cook said he's Noble Drew Ali reincarnated, and that's how he set up the Nation of Islam. Yeah, he never said that. He's that trick. Y'all got y'all worksheet? Y'all finished going over. We went over last week. Quiet, giving all perfect praise to Allah. Allah alone. We give honors to his prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because we have one, we know who he is. We know what a prophet is. We know how to respond to the prophet. We know what the duty of a prophet is. So we give honors to the prophet Noble Drew Ali and his forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Josiah Garvey. Garvey was tight, said the Negro needed nationality, said the black man needed nationality, said I'll let you know the Negro and black wasn't it. So we give him honors. We give honors to all you Moors in nature meetings, all the Moors who meeting all across the country on Sunday and Friday, who obey the prophet's laws, wherever they may be. Oh, there you go. I couldn't see you. They about to get them Nazis now. Praise Allah. Who took good notes? Who can tell me what we left off on? Here you go. Put it on that phone. Right there, boy. You got every... Oh, you know, she pull out her paper. Everybody pull it. Yeah, let me see. See what we left out on. Anybody? Taking all that time on, you know what I'm saying?
I forgot what the title was.
Oh, you forgot the title, Mo? What'd you say?
So the last thing we left off on was the sixth one. We ended off in part 2, being a Moorish American Muslim. B8B was the last thing that we did. So you should be on.
Okay. You say that. I'm going to ask a question then that says, just to recap. What is... We went over fines? How do you get fined in the Moorish Science Temple of America?
We didn't go over fine.
Did you say we left off on 6 fine? That's the last thing in the demonstration.
That's the last thing we did.
All right. What's the emergency fund then? Yeah, we went over that. I know we went over that. Yeah, what is the emergency fund in the Moorish Science Temple of America? Islam.
The emergency fund is for emergency acts, whatever is deemed an emergency by any nation, by natural disasters or anything of necessity that is not foreseen was the word that was used.
Okay. About the upliftment fund, what's that for?
It's on the upliftment fund is for the uplifting upon humanity through business ventures, business and enterprise ventures.
So it's not for like none of the ministers to go get a new Cadillac?
No, it's for businesses. Temple
What
business.
if I want to start a Cadillac dealership?
No.
What
A Cadillac dealership for who?
Yes.
you say?
Yes.
Yeah. If I want to start a Cadillac dealership where I can hire more and sell the cars for the benefit of the temple, yeah. But if I just want to go get a Cadillac, no, that don't even work like that. So you trying to make sure more understand that, the money don't go in nobody's individual pocket like that from the Morris Upliftment Fund, because that actually goes to build the nation. So we can have some businesses for the children. When they grow up, they can either start their own or franchise an established business that's already there. Like, you got millionaires who think it costs $1 million to buy into a McDonald's franchise now? Yeah. What if we had our own franchises that we've been working on, and, we leave it to our children? It won't cost them $1 million, but it'll cost some foreigners $1 million to buy in. So that's what we want to do with the upliftment fund. All right, what about the membership dues? Where they go? I don't want to hear from you no more. You know already answered 2 of them. Ms. Lonzo. Go ahead, first.
First the building and the light.
Hmm?
First the building and the light.
Okay. Lonzo.
Keep the building up.
Hey, that's it. All right. Representation tax. That's the per capita tax. What is that?
It's
I'm gonna wait till everybody settles. You want me on here? No, representation tax. There's a tax that was put into play. I'll read it. This tax is so arranged that it will not be a burden on any temple, but the prophet is very emphatic that it shall not be ignored, so we can carry on the work. Hence, the tax is necessary. This will mean that the numerical strength of the temple will bear the proper share of the responsibility of the operation. During November 1928, the temple came together, or the grand body of the temple came together and put in place a tax on each individual. It's a head tax. That right there lets you know that it's a government. Religious institutions can't tax nobody. That's a known fact. You can put in a fund, you can put in a fundraiser, you put in donations, but they can't institute no tax. The Morrison Temple America's grand body came together and instituted a tax on the head of everybody so that they can be counted, and that counting goes into the national headquarters, the national database, so that everybody can be counted, and it's a fund to make sure that they have a representation in the grand body. So, you know how you pay taxes to the federal government, and it helps get Congress back and forth and pay their bills and all that other stuff? Yeah, well, they don't pay no bills, really, for the Morrison Temple America, besides making sure that we actually have a national headquarters to go demonstrate at and do the business on behalf of the Moorish Americans across the whole country. So that's the representation per capita tax. The fines. Whether it's additional law, how do you incur a fine in the Morrison Temple of America? Islam. No.
Setting around your meeting, coming late, and just being out of law.
Can you read it for me so that we know we're nobody making it up? Can you read it for us? So I can't just sound like you? Give me some money. Find you,
Act 2. All members are to attend at that meeting, attend their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second case will be find $1, which will go to our emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. If he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Mortgage Uplifting Fund because it takes finance to uplift the nation. So then we just talked about what we do with the emergency fund. So the fund goes straight into that.
So I can't just say you're making too much money, you give up some money for the temple. Can't find you like that. Nah, for real, because I be hearing some funny stuff. You be like, yeah, my church find me or my institution find me, and you be like, how they do that? Like, where they get that from? Well, my minister made up this law, and it's just like, no. The Prophet Noble Dwelly laid down certain laws back before he passed his form to make sure no head of any branch or subordinate temple in the Mormon Temple of America can just make up stuff to get money. We can't do that. It's totally illegal. All right. Annual tax. What's the annual tax? Yeah, I can call on you.
It's annual, special annual tax?
Nope, just annual.
Annual?
Yep.
Well, how does it break down? Because I pay them together.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't have my paperwork with me either.
Yeah, I'm going to call on you now. Let's see if you know the answer. You didn't raise your hand on that one, so not call on you. What's the answer?
The annual tax is the tax that you pay annually.
Why do you pay it annually? And how much is it?
I don't recall.
Is it 90?
No.
Maybe like 20.
What is it?
$20, $25.
You sure? Which one is it? You do it.
Well, I pay $30 for my special and my annual tax.
Okay, so how much is annual?
I don't know the breakdown, but what I can say is I know that it pays for the representation of our leadership within our temple to go to convention and have representation there and actually be heard and accounted for as a group of Moors here in this area.
Correct. How much is it?
$30.
No. Islam.
$20.
Praise Allah. Islam.
Oh, yeah.
20 and 10. So that kind of kills off. How much is special tax then? $10. Knowing the importance of our gathering at National Convention, our officials have designated that these two taxes be used to defray convention expenses. The annual tax will be used by the heads of the temples, and special tax will be remitted by all the temples to home office or on or before September 1st annually. The secretary will make entry on the dues card, and you see the dues card. I don't have no extra ones. When you look on the dues card, when you get it, it'll show you where it goes. It's on your dues card. You keep record of it for yourself, so that you know you see what you paid into it. And like she said, the annual tax goes towards your representation to see to it that your representation gets to a certain location and represents you properly. The per capita tax make sure that there's a location. That's really what it's supposed to be for. It's supposed to be for the support of the Grand Major Temple and a place for us to have conventions. So even if we got to rent out a hall in Chicago, whatever the case may be, that's what it goes for. We should have our own building, but we're working on it. Well, thank you. Meeting collections. What are the meeting collections? Like, what is the red basket for? What is the green basket for? Islam more.
Islam. Red basket is for 6 months. Green basket is for
Why y'all looking like that? Y'all questioning it? Y'all doubting Islam?
Didn't we change the name of the state fund to the public fund?
Okay, that's fine. So what basket is it? Which basket is the public fund?
Red.
Y'all look like y'all are sure about that. And she is in deep contemplation about it. What is it, sister?
I was under the impression that we had a building fund and a public,
Okay.
and so the public, I thought was green and the building was red.
Why would the green be the building?
It's not.
No. I'm not asking sister from there.
It's low. Green represents, I don't know, I was just thinking maybe growth or that it would be something that is ongoing.
Okay. And red, why would it represent the public or the sick?
Islam.
Alright, Islam.
Because it's more red in the flag than green.
That's why I ain't calling you, mother. Come on here, man. Come on, man.
Doesn't red represent divinity?
That's wrong.
So I was just drawing like, the red demonstrating the divinity of the movement and that measure, and the green represents fertility. So that's why I see it like, the growth, like you said, the growth, the fertility, try to grow, all measure with the public, and then the red being the divine color, demonstrating strictly to the movement.
Alright, Mr. Axel, see what y'all say. Alright, we can turn to the next one then. If anybody else got something to say. Which one, Mom?
The red is what?
The color 20.
And what else?
He asked y'all a question?
And what else?
Come on, be like me. He's a huggable mom.
I'm trying to look at the point of your eye. He want to know, he got a question, brother Adam, they got a question, huh? Y'all can't answer the question? Nobody?
You said the red was the red was the building fund and the green was the public fund.
I thought you said the green one was the building.
I thought the green was the public.
Public.
I'm seeing who it is. So you called it now, they switched it up real quick. Hold up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just breaking down the green one, that's fertility, and you know what I'm saying? You asked the sister first. She
But
demonstrated.
they switched it at the end.
Johnny right here like doing that.
Islam, I still demonstrate the red and the green the same. The red is the sick or public fund, as we call it now. It represents divine love. So if you're sick, what's going to get you better? Divine love. The public fund, as you know, we appreciate the love that you've given to us and things of that nature. The green, that's fruition, like the Lord said, you know what I'm saying? Just like our flag. So that's going to go towards the building and advancing, whatever needs to be demonstrated in the building.
What you say, Mom?
And I ain't sure.
Huh?
What you say, Mom?
Yeah, green is fertility. So it's for growth, or,
So it's a building republic. It's a building republic.
Green is green. Green is green is for the public.
Thank you, that's what I was saying,
But
man.
from what Mons was saying, the green is for, you know what I'm saying, for fertility, so it's for the temple. That's what was being put across. And then the red, Mo was saying for sick, and then for divine love, because he was saying the out is more of the red, right? So it's for the temple when nobody's saying nothing.
I'm just listening.
But the red, don't they got the red cross and all that?
In the red crescent, right? Islam.
So it'd be like the like the Templar or the Templar with the red crescent.
He said he can't hear you. You're going to put an extra ear out.
Oh, okay. Templar or temple, the crescent and the star, they're red. So it would make sense that it would be the symbol that would be synonymous with that.
Red is sick, green is public.
Right.
Red is sick. It says public and sick funds. public. We know that we changed it from the SIC to the building. So so you the focus, the red is building and the green is public. All right.
A good way to remember that is red brick building and then green money, public.
You said green money.
Green for the green.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
It's always a something wrong.
I mean, it's something to go by.
It's wrong. All right, now we're going to get into something different. The laws of the Morrison Temple of America. We're on the top of the third page. The Divine Constitution and Bylaws. We got 1, 2, 3. I need each person who can recite a law to recite one of the laws and explain it. This one.
Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Morrison Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Morrison Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Morrison Temple of America.
Explain it.
The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of Morrison Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law. Make law and enforce law. So that's legislative and judicial. And the Grand Sheik and the Assistant Grand Sheik are the heads of a temple, because only sheiks are heads of temples, and temples get charters.
All temples get charters?
Yeah. If you are a study group, then you don't have a charter.
So every temple gets a charter?
Every temple is issued throughout the United States, like to every state throughout the United States.
So every temple get a charter?
If you are approved by the Prophet.
So if there's 3 temples in one city,
The first one will be the Grand.
Each temple get a charter?
No. The first temple in that state gets a charter, and that becomes the home of that state. Each temple after that,
It becomes
what
what?
temple?
You gotta speak loud, because if you gotta speak over the baby.
Okay, the first temple is that of the state has a charter. And then every temple after that is a subordinate temple of that temple. So the Grand Sheik of the first temple in the state becomes the governor of the state.
Okay, we ain't talking about no governor, no. We talking about Act 1. Ain't no governor in Act 1.
Yeah, but that's what we have to ask
Y'all, okay. Did y'all understand what he said about Act 1? Nope. They don't understand what you're talking about. So you gotta explain it again. And you gotta speak in a louder tone.
Alright,
She owns you. Your president is on you right now. She's looking right at you.
Alright, Act 1, the Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Morrison Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law. So that's legislative and judicial. And sheiks are...
Who's the legislator?
The Grand Sheik and the Chairman.
Alright, keep going.
So that's legislative and judicial. So, sheiks are...
Who's judicial?
The Grand Sheik is empowered to make law and enforce.
So the Grand Sheik is the legislative and judicial?
Yes.
That's tyrannical, bro. So the Grand Sheik is a tyrant. He's a legislative manager, so he can legislate law and then judge the law. Just like that, he just do whatever he want to do.
If he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I don't care if you live according to love, truth, peace, and justice. That's dictatorship. All right. So, all right, let's sit down.
Wouldn't the judicial be the assistance of the prophet and the grand body? So, the Supreme Grand Council and the Grand Body?
You don't mention Supreme Grand Council.
Well, who acts in the prophet?
So the prophet, hold up. So the prophet and the Supreme Grand Council are synonymous. All right. Now, what you gonna say?
That the divine constitution of Allah governs one temple.
It governs one temple? All right. I'm gonna ask you a question. Is this the Morrison? Is the temple that you in? Is this the Morrison Temple of America? What is it?
The Morrison Temple of
So does it govern one individual temple? I'm just trying to. So I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. So you saying the Constitution, it governs what? Say that again.
one temple.
It goes so each individual temple go by the Constitution. Okay, that's fine. But what do you mean by it governs one temple?
All group of Moors that go according to that, those laws are under one temple.
Okay, let's go for that. So it's only one temple, one prophet? All right, one Allah? Okay. So, come and ask somebody else. Who else can explain that one? You got a copy of it? The Constitution of Allah? Right there on the table.
No, there's a copy right here. You need to know what it's at.
Give one to the sisters as well. Maybe the brothers, two brothers can share one.
Yeah.
All right.
You school next to that one.
You gonna share with the brother? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Lonzo.
Who else need one? No, get it from.
You cheating?
No.
I thought you about to try to get an answer or something. All right, somebody explain to me Act 1. She said she want to read. Yeah, that's right. She on it already. Like, I like this book right here. Act 1. You ain't got to recite it now. He already recited it. So I'm just trying to figure out. You ain't got nothing to say. Just say, we don't know. Ain't no wrong saying you don't know. What question we on? Act 1. He recited it, and I'm trying to figure out, I want somebody to explain it to me. What is Act 1 talking about? So we can't just be reciting it and don't know what it's talking about. And then we don't want no tyrant. This mo tried to make the grand shit tyrant, bro. He just governs everything and takes over everything. It's one.
Yeah, that happened already.
Yeah. All over the country. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, read it.
The Grand Sheik of the Children of the Morrison Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Morrison Temple of America. So yes, they can make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Temple.
Okay.
Oh.
Hold on, go ahead.
In addition, that all the affairs, they all have to conduct their affairs according to, as the brother said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And is known for the temple members. So they have to be known. They have to conduct their affairs with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And they have to be working with the assistance of the Prophet and the governing body, the Grand Body.
That's fine.
Protocol for the Grand Sheik of
What is your question?
the Grand Sheik or the assistant Grand Sheik be, like the representative of the state in Congress?
You talking about as far as the grand body? Because that's what would be considered our Congress. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. The Grand Sheik is a representative. That's why you got to pay the tax we were just talking about, the annual tax.
So, the Article 1, Section 1, talk about all legislative powers have to have like a representative or something. So what about, how does Act 1 correlate with that?
You read it. You tell me. I don't have the Constitution of the United States of America in front of me. I ain't talking about that. But if you want to correlate it, explain it to me. If that helps you. And then you bring it out the phone. Come on here. It's long since I see your hand.
Well, basically, Grand Sheik is the chairman. It's one, if he plays both is one. So then they're empowered to make law and enforce law. And that's just going on with the Grand Sheik, our chairman, within your exact symbol that you were saying. So they can make laws and enforce laws for the good of the people, the good of the temple, and for to make laws and enforce laws. And when it comes to assistant Grand Sheik, you know, it's just everything must be, that protocol must be in line. And something is not laws to get put out there that's just not going to cause no growth in the temple or anything, like everything put out there from the chief chairman. It's something that's going to produce something, basically. And lots of things about getting it back.
All right. The brother brought up a point. He talking about the well, he didn't mention it, but he said the legislative and judicial. Who will be the judicial in Act 1? Islam.
Chairman is the legal term for the prophet would be.
Prophet, it say prophet in there.
Prophet and grand body.
It say chairman, it say prophet in there.
Yeah, but then prophet is gone. Who's the
Grand Sheik.
Prophet not gone, he's in Act 1.
He's in Act 1.
Yeah, it's his constitution.
And the question is, who's the judicial
Yeah, who's the judicial?
officer or branch in Act 1?
Would the judicial be the Grand Sheik, and then the administrative would be the assistant Grand Sheik?
Which one? Yeah, which one will be the judicial?
The Grand Sheik.
No.
You be the prophet and the grand body.
That's cool too. It's probably in the grand body. But which one?
The prophet and the grand, but it says if his law is important with the prophet or the grand body. So I feel the grand body and the prophet is the judicial.
Okay, what you about to say?
Oh, yeah.
What you about to say?
I was going to say something about it. If the Grand, will they have to be working in conjunction with each other to make it a judicial? I don't know. Let me just think.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is the Constitution of the United States of America executive, judicial, or legislative?
Legislative.
Yes, sir.
So, the prophet of Ali represent all the above. So, what are the other three positions inside? Who is the executive? Who's the legislator?
Grand body.
Who's the judicial? There you go. Just like that.
Hold on, what?
Read it. If y'all heard and understood, you tell him what you are. Because you said it. No, you said it. Who's who?
The executive is the Grand Sheik. I mean, it's the Grand Sheik. The judicial is the Grand Body.
Nope.
The prophet. Oh, the legislative. It's the governing body. So we just said the problem with all the law. So
Well, that's
it's not
all.
getting put in-
He wrote the Constitution, he wrote everything, he's the end all be all, he's all
The
three.
executive branch gets the judicial.
Okay,
And the legislative gets the grand body.
all right, that's what she said. So, hold on, he got a question.
No, I said
No, she didn't hear it. Give it 1 second. Say it again.
I said the executive is the branching, the legislative, is the avenue grand body, and the judicial is the sister branch.
That's it.
How,
Explain what's your question.
how is the judicial the assistant branch?
You gonna answer the question, or you got another question?
I gotta,
If you're not gonna answer her question, you gotta wait.
because, it's long.
This long.
I don't think that, the assistant grand sheik is the judicial because at convention work, don't people get brought up on charges at convention?
Yep.
So, you gotta stand for it.
Who is the judge? Go ahead.
The executive creates the law or initiates the law, the legislative makes the law, and the judicial enforces the law?
No, how you figure? Say it again. The executive do what?
The assistant grand sheik is the one who does judicial.
Wait. You said the executive do what?
The executive,
Okay, go ahead.
Let's get the basics on. Legislative makes the law. Okay? Judicial interprets the law. Executive enforces the law.
Who? No, it doesn't. The executive never enforces the law. The president never enforces anything. He has judges to enforce it. Everybody know that.
No, they
That's
have,
Supreme Court?
they got the 3 departments. That's what the police are for. They enforce the law. The only reason you have police to enforce the law, and that's exactly the president has 2 stations, commander and chief.
Yeah.
But the reason he's head of the army is because he enforces everything. If it's a problem that goes on, he's the head of the enforcement of the army, of the
Can he
military.
declare war?
Huh?
Can he declare war?
Can he declare war?
The president.
Who said that?
The president can't.
No, he can't. So there you have it. It must be judicial. Right now, you have issues that with George Bush, they were trying to bring him up on charges because he put some stuff through the demonstration. It was declared unconstitutional, so he couldn't do what he did, and they tried to take him to court. The enforcer of the law is the judicial. That's why if you break it, who you go to? You don't go to the mayor. You don't go to the Congress. You go before a judge who is over, because the judge does what? He signs all the warrants for all police officers or all sheriffs or whatever. No. A judge.
The sheriff, excuse me, sir. The sheriff is the one who's enforcing the law, and he's not even the one who's really enforcing it. It's the person who makes the complaint to the executive officer, and not only an executive officer, but the individual makes the complaint to the court. The judge, they don't do nothing. The judge has to, or the court has to send out the demonstration to whoever that individual has a complaint for. Once these people don't come to court, the judge now, and he's going to interpret the law on whatever matter that the 2 individuals have a problem with. It can be your law, it can be the state law, it can be business law, it can be whatever, but he's only there to interpret the problem with the law. So he doesn't enforce nothing. The only thing he can enforce is just the law. So if this person doesn't show up to court, then he says this individual doesn't show up to court, I have to now give this warrant out to the sheriff. The sheriff now goes and enforces and gets the individual and brings them back. So, once again,
And he's doing it off the warrant that is signed by the judge. Exactly. So, who enforces it?
But the judge is not enforcing the law. The judge is enforcing legislative law, which is doing, he didn't make that up.
So, the legislator makes it up. You understand? That's why we take civics class, because there's a lot of confusion about how law goes. The executive is the president. And we're gonna look it up. The executive is the president. Who is the legislator in the United States government?
Congress.
Who is the judicial in the United States government?
Supreme Court.
So, who is the judicial?
The judge. That's
So-
judicial. That's not executive.
No, it's not. So, who is it that enforces that law.